When I was growing up many decades ago, there wasn't as many screens, there wasn't as many documenting of all the different things that are going on the planet, which has got its pluses and minuses. So, YouTube. I have gotten on the YouTube channel and watched a certain amount of music. I've also gotten probably really focused in on drumming, drum set playing in the 21st century. Um, it's extremely precise, it's very accurate. It's usually pretty technically oriented. Most of the way it's taught is pretty technically. If you learn to play this pattern and you do this over and over, you'll get to this. But there's not a lot of slop in the system. The drummers that I used to live, and even if you go back and listen to recordings, they were sloppier. Now it's all very precise, which has its pluses and minuses. One thing I haven't noticed is, I guess, one thing doesn't lead to the next. I'll watch somebody play, they'll do some technical stuff, and then there'll be a pause and they'll go on to the next. The thing I'm going to be talking about is just, I think, a really different approach that's worth noticing. Hit and hope. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit stuff. I've got a lot of things to hit. I'm just going to hit them, listen to what they do, and then go on to the next thing. It sounds so simple, but oftentimes I say if you want to learn how to improvise, play one note, then play another note. Sounds really simple. What's in between this note and that note's a space. So I'll just start hitting things, and then I hope they'll take me somewhere. I'm trying to listen, really listen attentively, whatever sound's coming out. I missed the cymbal, didn't hit it the same way. Well, that's what presented itself. So, hit and hope. The pause that I left there was a really crucial thing. There's lots of space between each note I'm hitting, and I'm also doing things somewhat thematically sometimes. Okay, let's see, that's going to lead me somewhere. Wherever I hit is going to be where it's going to lead me. Bells. Interesting. Bells and bass drum. Fast hit and hope. Just letting the notes, really listening to the notes, where do they want to take me? No judgment. It's just, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think to counter that, that pattern brain stuff, which is nothing wrong, we need pattern brains, the phrase brain, leaving space and stuff, would be probably embodied in hit and hope. And I think, Mike, you can speak to that at the drum set, the time that you've spent in the last bit about how you've watched drum set playing work for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything I've learned on the drums has been hit and hope.
Right.
I don't play any pattern stuff. And at least for me, part of what I realized as I started to play is that I've started to try to play lots of different instruments. And what always bogged me down and what always stopped me from going forward was trying to do the technical play all the right notes at the right time, at the right speed, get the right tone. And for whatever reason in my brain, I just never had the patience to do that. I could move it along pretty far, but not far enough to
Right.
actually get good at anything. So I tried lots of different instruments, and none of them ever grabbed me enough where I felt like this is something that I want to practice. I want to learn how to play it. And I think what I came to realize was that this way of doing things, sitting down with somebody that is willing to just let me hit and hope, practice different things, not have judgment about it, which makes it easier for me not to have judgment about it. And then I can focus on tone, I can focus on different sounds. I just naturally, by playing more and more, start getting better at different techniques, and it becomes a joy as opposed to a chore. And and that's the main reason I'm playing is for joy. And so that way of doing things worked definitely the best for me.
This room has been an interesting place for a lot of people who question their brain. I still can't play a tune on the piano. I'm not very good. Charlie Parker said it really well. Learn the instrument, learn the music, and forget all that and play. Okay? We spend so much time with the first two. We better learn. We better get an instructor. We better get to open a book up. When I first started to play, my parents wanted me to go to Donworth Music, and they went down. I got on the bus and went there, and the guy sat there and with a Haskell, some book, Haskell Har syncopation or something, and he'd sit there. We'd be in a room, and then he'd go da 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 da. Okay, go on to two. Da 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 da. I lasted about a month. My brain wasn't grasping anything. So I the thing I call birds weave and how they weave together. Learn the instrument, learn the music, forget all that, and play. The problem is if we get an authority figure or a pattern, we spend so much time like you're talking about in that, and we never get to let's just hit the thing. And I think it's been really important to weave those from the start. It's as a teacher, I have to be very hard to become the authority figure, very bad. So I've really got to stay away from that, which I would call jazz brain. Nothing wrong with classical brain. We need to learn that, but you tend to be following stuff that's been written before. You've got a conductor. You've got that. It's one way of approaching. But back to this permission granted thing. That's kind of, in other words, what you're saying. You just needed to grant yourself permission and actually listen. Well, listening is vibrationally free. If I'm playing when I'm at my best, and I think you could speak to that, there's nobody there. I've got a brain that moves pretty fast, but when I get into this zone, it's home base for me, and it kind of always has been. This kind of this brain that zips around until it's time to play, and then I grasp it as tone. You mentioned the word tone. Tone is extremely important. To hear the tone. When people play too loud a lot of times, like on a conga, I'll say it's getting a little, can you hear it? It's getting a little strident. There's something not pleasing about the sound coming back at you. And after years of watching people play, I can see them check out when that tone from the thing they're playing isn't reflected. If I go to play, a lot of times if we want to do something, let's get some mallets out. You can't mess up as much with mallets. It's a pleasing sound. Okay, so I will do that hit and hope thing again with mallets. I'm just going to leave space. In that space, there will be no judgment. because space isn't judgment really, except there'll be acceptance of whatever I hit.
Yeah, I think the other thing that occurs to me about this is that whenever I was trying to play something that was written or a song on a guitar or whatever, I was always in the process of judging how I was doing compared to whatever the best of that was. And one of the things about Hit and Hope and not having judgment is that it immediately brings in the creative quality. So I probably have never played the same thing twice when I'm in here playing. And every single time it starts off as a creative process that is immediately satisfying as long as I don't judge it. And I let it be, and if something doesn't sound quite right, then I move to something else. And that creative process is really what drives my enthusiasm because that keeps me coming back.
Yeah, I mean, we have to. I think that one of the things we've talked about wanting to start this channel is just to give to explain the room. What does the room do? What's it trying to teach us? And we'll keep coming back to simple acceptance. You can't cherry pick forgiveness. I often say you have to do that. What you're speaking to is, I have a term, autonomy. You look at people, if they can carry that tone and hold that space inside themselves, they're their own governing body. Now, a lot of what we do, and I think it's very simple, is we like the aperture of the unknown, so to speak. We start from the where you don't know. That's just a different, there's nothing wrong with that. My dad was an architect, and he had a great term. He liked to go on the job site and wave some arms. And I just think, boy, does that nail it. Just kind of let it loosen up. You can't, even if playing, you can't do it by tightening up. You've got to loosen it up to get to that. So everything at the end of, that you're describing is that just sitting back, observing it happening, not judging any of it. As soon as you do that, you are not really listening, because you can only do one verb at a time. Listen, you can't do that. That's a really, as simple as it is, from my observation as a teacher and a practitioner of this, it's a really difficult thing. And it brings us back to the thing we talked about earlier, permission granted. So I think that what we're hoping for in this depiction of this process, and displaying this process, is for some people they may go, oh, I see, I've been trying to do work within this box, but my brain doesn't really work that way. And I've seen a lot of people shame because they can't play the real book, or they can't read music, or they can't do that. That stops them. I'm not a musician. I can't do that. I've watched a heck of a lot in the last 30, 40 years with people. And it's painful. It's painful. Let me go talk to the authority figure. So you're your own authority figure, and I've watched Mike play the drums, and boy, he's having a blast over there, and that's all that's important to me. If I'm having a blast and some joy's going on over there, and I'm playing with somebody that's having joy, I don't know, probably pretty good to go.
Good to go. Thanks, Dave.